All right, everybody, I just wanted to take a couple minutes here and show you some things about an assignment we had at the end of last semester that I think was confusing for some folks, called letter count. Your version of what you created was a little bit different than what I'm showing you, in that your program was supposed to have input boxes that popped up and the user put in some string here that we were going to search for a certain letter in. So the only difference here is you were using input boxes, because I changed this activity a little bit to deal with that. So we could have input boxes. This one just has text boxes that we're putting stuff into here. So for example, if I put in hello world and I search for the letter L, it's going to say that's in there 3 times because it searched through and found those. If I put something that wasn't in there, oh, H was in there, so that's in there once. Let me really find something that's not in there. That F, it's in there 0 times. So how is it going about doing this? Okay, well, we're taking those text boxes, we're using a string method here to convert them all to lowercase, because remember, the computer's not going to treat a lowercase letter the same as an uppercase letter. So we're converting both this text box to lowercase, where we're putting in the string we want to search through, with a character to lowercase also. So that's kind of lowercase, so that's an important concept to realize. Now, I could have changed them both to uppercase if I wanted to. It doesn't matter. I just have to set them both to the same case so it works right. If this was input boxes, I would just put this same thing at the end of the input box code, just a .to upper, to use that method. Now, I've got a for next loop here that is starting at 0. The int index is a variable that's going to start at 0 and go until it gets to this string user sentence .length -1. So that's a number. What's the length property of what they typed in? -1. The reason we subtract 1 is indexing starts counting at 0, and length just counts normally like you and I do. So if, for example, if they put in a 5-letter string to search through, that the indexing of those 5 letters would only go up to 4, because it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's an important thing to understand, is that the length property is always 1 higher than the highest index position. So we've called the variable that runs this for next loop int index, because we're going to use it as an index positions for this, all the characters in the string. So inside of this loop that runs for the number of times that there are characters in string user sentence, we're going to use this .chars method. What it does is it pulls out the character that's at the index position specified. Since we're using that same variable, that's going to change every time this loop runs. So it starts at 0. When it's at 0, it pulls out the character that's at the index position 0 and compares it to the character that we put into the other text box. If they're the same, it adds 1 to the counter. Then the next loop runs again. Int index is 1, so it pulls out the character at index position 1, compares it to the character they search for. If it doesn't equal that, it doesn't add to the counter. So it just keeps running this loop till it's looked at every character in string user sentence, comparing it to the character we're searching for, and if they're equal to each other, adding things up as it goes there. So just a perfect example. For next loops are great for doing searches and searching through strings of text. So hopefully that helps you a little bit to realize how we could use some of those string methods along together with the for next loop to make that work.